Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. Woo! I'll tell you, I am not high, but I feel like I'm high out here. It is so beautiful out here. If you are that type that don't get out in nature, you don't know what you're missing because Starlight is out here. This is my second time today, but I'm on a different trail, on the same hike and trail out here, and I have a hard time focusing on anything because it's so beautiful, and I got to see butterflies and all these little creatures out here. So anyway, I am sending love out to you, and let love guide you. Not fear is so important, and make sure wherever you are, get plenty of water. Don't get dehydrated. And also, wow, there's a yellow big butterfly. I mean, that thing is huge. So yeah, Starlight's having a hard time focusing out here because it is so darn beautiful. And so yeah, get out and take a hike somewhere and look for some butterflies because they're flying around out here. And thank you to all of you who have been here, loving and supporting Starlight. Those of you that have been with me a long time, and I am telling you, I am so serious. I see that that butterfly is like really huge. I get dreams like that, but man, that's a huge butterfly. And so yeah, make sure you get out in nature somewhere. Whoops, Starlight's got a itch. But anyway, I love you so much, and thank you to all of you who have been here from the beginning, or maybe you just recently joined me on my YouTube channel. And so thank you. And also, if any of you would love to send any love donations, you can through my Cash App, and I will have the information here. Ping! There it is. And also, before I start this video, alrighty now, today, which I talked to a guy at a park earlier, is that it's not selfish to put yourself first. What? It's not selfish to put myself before others? Yeah, it's not selfish. So here we go. So yeah, there's a lot of people, what they think. They think it's selfish to put themselves before others. You know what ends up happening? All their stuff gets done, but all your stuff gets left behind. Serious, Oh, look at that, a snake. What kind of snake is that? Oh, where did he go? There he is. See all the neat things you can find out in nature. But, where did he go? Starlight is out here somewhere. He's actually coming towards me. I'll make it sound like an earthquake. Where did he go? So anyway, Starlight's... I'm trying to find that snake. Let's see. Oh, there he is. He blends in the ground really good. So he wants to be on a YouTube video. So yeah, I looked this up before. The black snakes. Well, hopefully that's the same kind. Normally they actually will run away when they hear noise, but it might be just curious. It probably never had a snake talk to it before. So Starlight's just going to keep an eye on it, wherever it went to. So yeah, it just wants to, it's like curious. It just like the little other animals, it's not used to anybody talking to it, and like it's going away. Because normally, see, people get so afraid of snakes, and see, this was just a great demonstration of, they are more afraid of you than you are. They are more afraid of you. You think about it, look how big you are compared to a snake. I guess it depends on the size snake. But that's all you got to do, it's great to see them, and then just let them know, hey, I'm here. And like that one was, I think, curious because Starlight was talking, and, it was like, hey, so nobody ever talks to me. They normally throw things at me. or something. So anyway, today it's about, there's another black snake. Ooh, what does it mean when you see black snakes? See, there's another one. And it's just, it's minding its own business. This is where they belong. They're out here in their own, look at you. Where's the tree? Yeah, so there's another snake. You're bigger. Where's your mommy? Or are you the mommy? Yeah, so they're out here sneaking around. There's a song about snakes when I grew up. It's called Sneaky Snake. And Starlight will sing this really quick because I'm not going to remember the whole song, but a sneaky snakes go dancing, a wiggling and a hissing. I don't like those sneaky snakes. They laugh too much, you see. And that's the rest of the song. I can't think of the rest of the song, but it's a cute song about snakes. And so anyway, today it's not selfish to put yourself before others. And in the past, it was a full-time job. I was always thinking of other people, and that's a beautiful thing, though. It's not a bad thing to think of other people. You know what? I was always putting, then I was like, oh man, now all my stuff was piling up because on the weekends, when I wasn't working, is that I spent my whole weekend driving far away from my house to go and visit people, my family, because they didn't have a car and they had no way of getting around. And, there goes, now when I get back home, all my stuff, that I would have normally gotten done wasn't getting done, So I was putting others before myself, and I did that all the time. And I'm a Virgo, so if you ever look up, a Virgo, Virgos have the tendency to put in others before themselves, so it's good to have balance in life when it comes to these things, but it should be God first, then you, then other people. But there's people out there that, they are trying to prove to their family and their loved ones that they're there for them, and what they end up doing is they put all their time and energy helping their family out, and now they're so back behind on their own stuff, and then they get stressed out. It causes a lot of stress in their life, because now their work is not getting done. The things that they need to work on, their laundry is, they put their family first. And I'm just seeing if these trails are dead ends or not. And I'm looking for snakes too, so Starlight is out here watching out, because it's let love guide you and not fear. So it's not about being afraid of the snakes. It's recognizing them and just, communicating with them and let them know that you are here. And just like a dream is, you gotta face your fears. So anyway, with people is you gotta take care of your stuff first, and then if you got time, you could take care and help your family out. But you don't want, and this happens not just with your family or even your friends. It can happen with at church, if you go to church, where you gotta really, I had to learn this lesson when I was younger. This is like dead end trails here, so Starlight's gonna backtrack. But when I was younger, I had a lot of lessons to learn when I was in church, and because Starlight was sticking her foot in her mouth all the time at church, wanting to get, and because my heart was in the right place, but I was putting all the things, volunteering my time at the church for this and for that, and then, when you do that, you gotta, when you open your mouth and stick your foot in it, that means, when you say you're gonna do something, it's, we gotta practice kind of doing that. It teaches us to, hey, don't say something unless you really gotta, like make that decision right there and then at the church. Go home and think about it, really say, do I really have time to actually really volunteer for that? Am I really willing to count the cost for and because Starlight didn't think of that stuff, is that they were looking for volunteers to do all kinds of different things, and Starlight just stuck her foot in her mouth, and then I did it again and again, but it's easy to stick your foot in the mouth at the time, but then later on, when you really got to actually show up every Saturday morning somewhere, you got to be there at a certain time, because that's being responsible. So instead of just making a quick decision right there on the spot, because, people at the church might be asking for people to volunteer for this and volunteer for that, or even, anything that they ask you of, it could even be money, you got to really think about what you're doing, and don't do it because you feel like you're pressured to doing things, and that is so important. Even when my kids were younger, people will do this, adults will do this, kids will do this. What they do, and it's a very powerful tool to use, it's like psychology, it's, even other adults used to do this to me. And what they will do is they know what they're doing. They're not ignorant of what they're doing. That's why they do it, because it normally works. I don't know what percentage of the time it works, but it's actually asking you for a favor when other people are right there around and they hear, like my kids would ask me, if they could go somewhere or do something, but they did it when other, family was around or other people were around. So then it would make me feel guilty if I said no. So they put you on a guilt trip to try to get you to say yes when really you don't want to. So you got to really watch out for that with people, adults, or even your kids. It's trickery, really. It's a trick. It's to really catch you to see if you're really paying attention. And like my mentor taught me a long time ago, is don't say a yes when it's a no to yourself. So if you really don't want to do something, and you know what, don't lie about it, because that was a thing that I had a struggle with a long time ago. Not that I was lying, but I had a hard time saying no to someone. And then what was I gonna say? Why can't I, go to their house? Why can't I, take them to the store with my car? What is, So, I might have been able to say, or say no, but then what am I gonna, so I always, people will put you on the spot and pressure you and make you feel guilty, so you feel like you're forced to say yes, even if it's a no to yourself. So you gotta watch out for those things, is you gotta, think about you first. Is all your stuff done at the house? Did you take care of all the things that you're supposed to take care of at the house, or even with your yard, So before you say yes to anything, with people that say, hey, can you help me at my house and do some spring cleaning? Why can't they do it by themselves, Sometimes, helping is not helping people. And that was me many times in my life, is that, we think that we're helping people by, jumping right in and rescuing them. But is it? Because what I learned a long time ago? I was at, what was I teaching people when I always said yes to everything? Hey, like they weren't being responsible with their money. Hey, do you have a few bucks? It's always, that's how they word it, a few bucks. Well, what's a few bucks? A few bucks can be anything from a few bucks and more. What is the few bucks for? So I didn't mind actually helping family member people, with money. But if I found out it was going to go on cigarette money, then I had a hard time, because then I'm participating in them having a not such a healthy life by smoking cigarettes. So I didn't want to really give money away when it's just going to go on cigarettes. But to be honest with you, after a while, I didn't even ask where the money was going, because I knew that they were lying to me anyway. they always had all these different excuses where the money was going to go and why they needed it. But I knew, my intuition knew where it was going. It wasn't going to go on the, what they were saying. They were going to make it seem like that's where it was going to go. But really it's because they ran out of money and they didn't have any cigarettes at the end of the month. So you got to really, when it comes to putting yourself before others, is, before you say yes to something, what are you feeling inside? Like you're probably feeling like, no, I really don't want to help you out because I got enough shit of my own to do, I got so much stuff at the house, I got, there's times that we got to go through our house and keep it clean, get the laundry caught up, are you putting your cooking off, because, oh, now they're going to invite you over for dinner, right? Because they want something from you. And maybe you don't want to be at their house to eat dinner, because people are tricky, they want you and they will think of all different ways to be able to get you to do. So it's never selfish to put yourself before others. And so it's a big lesson in life. Sorry, I don't want to put people, I had a gentleman out here. So don't feel guilty that you put yourself before others. And that was Starlight many, many, many times, So think of all the responsibilities that you have. Like if you work Monday through Friday and every night, you got to cook, get cleaned up, get ready for the next day, and you only got the weekend left. Isn't there a whole lot of stuff at your house that needs to get done, or are you going to just let it slide and just to help other people out? So, and the other thing is, it's great to help people out when you can and when you've taken care of your own stuff. But what you could say is, like, they might say, hey, can you help me out and do this? And this is how I ended up going through this, is that I'm like, you know what? I didn't mind actually helping them out. So what I ended up saying, instead of just jumping right to what they wanted, is I said, yeah, I don't mind helping you out, but I got to take care of me first. When I get done with what I'm supposed to do, if I have time, I'll help you out. But really, if I go over, if I don't have enough time, then I'm sorry, but I can't help you out. So that way you're having a good balance of saying, hey, I want to do that, and you're being honest, like I wouldn't mind helping you out in that area. But you know what? I got to take care of my own stuff first. I got stuff that I got to take care of. When I get done with that, then I can help you out. So now you're actually teaching that person, because like I said earlier, sometimes by helping people is not helping them, because they rely on you all the time. When you say yes every time when they want help, then they will go to you even more. And every time you're going to feel worse and worse and worse, because then you're going to be like, oh man, this is getting, you're going to start realizing, they're always and you might be the person that never asked for help. And that's how it was with Starlight, is I wasn't asking my family to help me out. They was always asking me to help them out. That was the way that went. And a while back I seen I didn't really know these teenagers, but it was two teenage girls. And I was like, wow, the one was very dominant and the other one was very submissive. And what I noticed, and you got to watch out, there's some people that are very dominant and they have a special way of getting what they want. They're like, they don't ask you for things, they tell you. It's a trick. It's another like psychology trick, is instead of saying, hey, could you grab my cup over there? Because this is what I witnessed with these two teenagers. And I couldn't believe how, the one girl, what she was doing is she's like, go get my cup out in the library, or go do this and go. She was actually given commands. She wasn't asking for her friend to do these things. She was telling her, and her friend just automatically, I was like, oh my, I can't believe it. She's just like, she's doing everything, she didn't question anything. She just went and did whatever. And so you got to really watch out for that. People really, if they want something from you, they should ask you, not tell you, unless you're a parent, you tell your kids, See, that's where sometimes parents have it all backwards. They ask their kids questions instead of giving them commands, So with kids, being a parent telling your kids something, that's a different story. Is like, go clean your room. Not like, can you go clean your room? No, they need to be told to clean their room. Because if you gave them a choice, do you want to go clean your room right now? No, I don't want to clean my room right now. So there's a difference. So you don't want to have like friends or family just tell you what to do. Is that they should ask you, hey, would you mind, helping me out? Would you mind, giving me, could you possibly give me a ride over this weekend somewhere? And then if you want to, you can give them a ride. So this is where Starlight was earlier. It's like a dead end spot here. But Starlight went off trail. But this is so beautiful. Look at it. Of course, there's a lot of leaves out here. But this is such a beautiful place out here. Starlight, like I said, went off trail here in the bushes somewhere. That's where you're going to find Starlight, Starlight's going to be in the bushes somewhere off trail. It might have a sign saying, do not go off trails. But yeah, so make sure, have people, if they can't ask you, can you help me over this weekend? Or, hey, why don't you come over my house and help me out this weekend? You got to have them to ask and don't answer right away. Say, I want to think about that. Think of it, pause for a moment and say, I'm not going to answer you right now. I'm going to think about that. Because that's the first step in correcting this whole thing, is having people overtake you, by always asking you for stuff all the time. Every time you get time off, they already got it already figured out through the week, before you even get to the weekend. They already this is what was going on with Starlight. People were making plans to, because they learned about me. I already got plans. So, so they were really quick, is that they would call me up like on a Wednesday, didn't even get to Thursday or Friday, and they're like, hey, can you come over the weekend, come and visit us? And so it kind of caught me off guard a lot of times, and I would say yes and yes and yes and yes and yes, and then I smartened up. I started turning the whole thing around, and I'm like, what, I'm gonna make plans on Wednesday, or, before the weekend, and like, what do I want to do this weekend? I don't want to do the same thing every weekend, so I want to go out hiking. I want to go out for a hike. So, yeah, I'm going to go hiking for this weekend. So when they call me up and like, hey, can you come out this weekend? Because really, if I was going to go to their house on a weekend, especially my parents, it would have been just sitting around in a room, like talking all day long. That's what it would have been, depending on the time of the year, So I got other things to do, I don't mind sitting and talking, but man, all day long, I got to get, like Starlight's not a sitter, I can't sit that long. I want to get out in nature somewhere, where I belong. So it's not selfish to put yourself first. Put your own needs, before other people. And don't feel bad, make sure you make, get it straight and say, what, sorry, but I already got plans this weekend. And don't be surprised that they'll try to call you before you even make your plans. But always be prepared for that. Even if they do call you up and before you even made the plans for the weekend, like if you always want to make plans on Wednesday, that way hump day, that you, like, hey, I already know what I want to get away from the area. I want to go travel somewhere. I want to go do something different this weekend. So they might want to beat you at it, and, they might call you Tuesday before Wednesday hits. And if they do, see, I will think about that and really be serious with yourself and think about it. Do you really want to spend the weekend with them? What are you going to do? Because you've got to count the cost. How many times have you said, yes, I'm going to do something, and then it's at their house, at their rules, and then you're there, and you're like, and you dread it. You dread the whole time because it's at their house. They're the ones that are going to be in control of everything, how the whole time is going to go. And then you're like, man, you know, only if I listened to myself, I would have been out in the woods enjoying nature. Instead, now I got to sit here, you know, and they're going to want to go. What are they going to go? Is it something you want to go do? Is it something that they want you to do? So don't think you're being selfish to put yourself first, because you're not. I love you so much. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman, Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.